Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Impossible Puzzles Show. It's episode 196. We're jumping it right into it. We're saying hi today to Larry Nipon. Oh, you must have been on 100 podcasts. You're a celebrity. What's up?
Not quite 100, but hi, Mike. Nice to be here. Thank you.
We cheated a little bit before. We were hanging out on Fritz on the huddle. Why don't we take a minute to talk about how great the huddle is so we share some wisdom and promote Fritz a little bit? How
Well,
about
I,
that?
I would love to do that. We're coming from two different perspectives since you're an accomplished podcast host and I'm a neophyte beginner podcast guest. We're coming from opposite ends of the spectrum, but it's funny that we both ended up in Fritz's room. Uh, Fritz does a phenomenal job of putting people together on both sides of the equation. Hosts that are looking for good people to have on their show and people that would like to be a guest on the show. And he not only puts those people together, but he does a great job of helping people on the guest side understand how a host can actually be a bona fide referral partner for them. So he helps people monetize the podcast relationships, which is great. But I've met a lot of great people like you in Fritz's Huddle.
And coming from the other side of the coin, we cheated. We had a 5 minute pre-chat, if you will, in a Zoom where I booked on your calendar after meeting you there. And I'm coming from the world where my Zadie, my grandfather, puts the camera on my hand in 1995 when I'm 10 years old and says, "Film the Hanukkah party," and I'm like, "Was?" And I was born in the mid '80s, so I grew up with endless exposure to video production, video editing, computers everywhere, and you've never done. You've never you're not so it's you never did like 1,000 YouTube videos or worked roles or jobs where video, recording where things are always recorded and shared on YouTube or a Spotify. This is new to you. What's it like? Are you peeing your pants? Are you calling the rabbi? What's going on?
No, not peeing my pants, not calling the rabbi. The fact is, I'm older than you. Obviously, take a look at me. But I grew up in a time, and you and I share some of this, that my generation has probably seen more global dramatic change than almost any other generation. I was saying to you, I remember the first color TV show I saw, which was Batman in I think 1962 or something. But we have seen incredible change. And so I'm used to newness. It doesn't scare me. I'm used to trying new things. I'm always very curious. But I have some holy shit moments. And when I say a holy shit moment, having just been in the right place at the right time, where I was fortunate enough to not only see something but embrace it that I knew was going to be a globally impacting change, like a tsunami change. Uh, the first one was the personal computer. When I went into business with my parents' company, it was a designer fashion company called Albert Nipon. We were doing a $16 million business. I came into the company. In 7 years, we went from 16 million to $500 million. Why did that happen? Not because I came in the business, trust me, but the PC was just introduced. In our business, it would take us 6 weeks to price out a line, and we did that 6 times a year. So do the math on that. The PC came in. Long story short, I used the PC to do those costing cycles. We reduced 6 weeks to 3 days. That was my holy shit moment number one. My holy shit moment number two was just 4 years later, 1987. I met Mike Muni on a plane going down to Dallas. Mike was sitting with a laptop. He and I had owned two of the five laptops in the country. The battery was twice the size of the computer. And he was programming on his laptop in this program called Symphony, which only 400,000 people in the world use because it was a horrible program. It was part of Lotus 123. And he was programming this program called ACT. Well, if you know anything about the CRM industry, ACT created the CRM industry. So I was the second person in the world to use CRM. Now, that sounds like an absolutely bodacious statement, but it's true. ACT created CRM as we know it. So that was my second holy shit moment because it showed me a different way to run business. And it proved itself because that was part of that 16 million to $500 million growth curve. Fast forward, the third holy shit moment. It is the year, it is actually, it's 9/11. It's 2001. My first day when I was introduced into a company called WGSN. WGSN was the first company in the world to use the internet to allow companies to do trend forecasting. If you're in the fashion business like we were, so I really understood that world, you have to know what to manufacture. If you're a retailer, you have to know what to buy. You need to be able to predict what is John Q. Public going to want to put in their closet, to put in their home. So to figure that out, we used to shop the stores. We used to read magazines. We used to just walk the streets. Pretty analog, not very efficient. So this company comes along, and the internet, which was still being served up on satellite, nobody really thought it was real yet. But these guys had an idea. Trend is visual. Let's present visual information on the internet and let companies buy that content to determine what people are going to buy. That was my holy shit moment, because when I saw that company, I knew enough about fashion and I knew enough about technology to say this is going to completely flip the script on how companies decide what to buy, what to sell, what to make, what to deliver. And in fact, today, if you're in a trend driven business, whether it's interiors or fashion or food, whatever it might be, you need a trend forecasting service, and you're using one of, there's a variety of them out there now, but WGSN started that model. That was my third holy shit moment. My fourth holy shit moment was Claude. And I'm still going through that holy shit moment. And when you think about it, I don't think we've ever seen, I think what we're living through right now is probably the most significantly impacting change of everything else we've seen. This is more impacting now than even the introduction of the internet. So, so when you ask me, am I worried about new stuff? I love new stuff. I love change, and that's my story.
Fascinating, fascinating. And I see on LinkedIn, as we said earlier, yeah, you have almost, is it, you have like what, 7,000 followers almost. Okay, wow. You never did a podcast before. You never did a media, can we
No,
call it an internet media,
I'm not.
audio or
I'm not
video?
really. I've never really been a social network. I'm not a Facebook guy or a TikTok or a Pinterest or Instagram. But I've never really participated. I'm a voyeur. I'll post sometimes, but I pretty much just cruise. The only social network I really am active in is LinkedIn, because it's a business-driven network. I think LinkedIn is a mess, but it's
Why,
one of those.
why? Yeah,
Well,
I
it's got
also think LinkedIn's a mess. Why? What is your gripes with the
it's
LinkedIn?
it's clunky, it's spammy, and the
Mm.
utility of it has changed from what it was initially intended to be, which was a place where business people could connect with common interests, either on the buy side or sell side. Either I need something that I need expertise, or I've got expertise that I would like a company to uh, pay me for. But now it's gotten very, very noisy, where the number of connections you have is more a vanity metric than a usable metric. And the platform itself, like even a network my size, if I wanted to use the LinkedIn platform to extract value from that network, it is very, very
Mm.
clunky. So I had to come up with ways in my business where I'm working with people, where I rely on people that are going to introduce me to people. How can I elevate the relationship where it's equally valuable to both of us? And one of the things I realized is that the network, the LinkedIn platform, is not great at leveraging your LinkedIn network. So how could I help people do that? So I started developing my own system to deliver a person's LinkedIn network back to them in a way that it is usable in about 5% of the time. You could go through your entire network and identify the people that you want to connect with, or you want to reconnect with because you're already connected to them, and there are people that you forgot about, or there are people that something in their life changed, something in their business changed, or yours when you first connected them. We live in a world of change. So what was relevant a year ago might not be relevant today, and wasn't relevant a year ago could be relevant today. So I started handing my referral partners, the people I work with, I've been handing them their LinkedIn network in a form that is very usable for them. And I'm actually using Claude to elevate the value of that because I'm using Claude to, I don't want to give away all my secret sauce.
No, 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 no. On a podcast, we should hold some cards close to the chest.
Yeah.
We won't get into any of the secrets there, but without getting into the secrets,
By the way, do you actually edit this down afterwards? As uh, is everything we're saying going into the podcast? Do you like, you know,
um, um,
or do
that's
you
a
edit?
great question. So I have. People have asked me, "Hey, can you remove that 10 minutes where my kid came in and the internet connection broke?" Yeah. There's people ask for different. The truth is, people ask for different things. Some people ask to meet before for 10 minutes or an hour to go over all the things not to say. Other people jump on. If you're talking to an Israeli, they're like, "Let's go right now, go," and no editing. And then they go. It's called fresh off the press. So once it's recorded, then immediately
So
release.
the whole
But
podcast thing in
yeah,
terms of a podcast show is you just never know where it's going to go because I talk about
oh,
the fact that I'm very
yeah.
technologically driven. I'm very data driven, and so far everything is really revolved around business. But in fact, what data and technology, and me being a gear freak and an early adopter, actually my quant personality has affected my health in a very positive way. Um,
Or
I
even, or just to tell you more about the podcasting as we're chatting here. There's the idea of the footage is the raw. It's sort of the what is made is called footage, video footage or audio content. Some people hire a team in Pakistan or 20 something, whatever, and edit it meticulously and insert clips and insert links and make it a whole experience.
and what do you
Other
do?
people are, for me, I was told by, I was actually told explicitly by some very powerful, Hall of Fame podcasters, Mike, your style should be raw, unedited, unscripted. Let the guest be in charge. Let them dominate. You are just if the train is going off course a little bit, a little bit pull back. If it's getting, inappropriate or political, try to stay away from that. That was just advice I got from, actually, it was Rob Greenlee in the podcast Hall of Fame. And I was even shocked he did an episode with me. And he's done maybe, oh, he's like a world expert. He did for Microsoft. He worked for 7 years running the entire internet media, like pod and interview everyone. And that was fascinating. And yeah, Rob Greenlee. And then reporters in San Francisco who were new to podcasting, but Joe Vasquez. We did an episode and he was teaching me all about how the 6 o'clock news works in San Francisco and how the editorial meetings and so I guess I'm coming from, yeah, when I've talked to people double my age or 20 years older than me, 30 years older than me. I've had an 11-year-old yesterday who wanted to talk about all his new, that it's his fourth podcast, and he's exploring this new investment for $200 with his brother. And
And
his
this
you
is
could
this is an 11-year-old.
he was 11 years old. Yeah, yeah. And he's like a well-known, it was actually hard to get him on. Sharav Aurora. Uh yeah, Sharav Aurora. I was watching it earlier
He sounds
today.
like a very precocious 11-year-old.
I he spoke more, the 11-year-old talking about Twitter, X or whatever, Instagram and Facebook was even fascinating because before Sharav was Andrew Jenkins, who is a Canadian. He lives in Toronto like me, but is like a famous Canadian social media award-winning expert for financial services. So Andrew Jenkins was very modestly not saying anything, and he's taught for 10 years, 11 years in university, has written books like almost like textbooks. He's wrote the manual. He's been doing just social media for like in its infancy. Like you're also a pioneer, but even tangential to this, the people with the most experience and the most wisdom, they are humbled. I'm just learning this more now than ever. My mom has so much, she's like 70 years old. She has so much business wisdom, but because of so much experience, it humble. The more you know, the more you don't know. And so I'm learning now. It's fascinating. Like you're as interested you are to be on a podcast. The Mike Merkers of the world, me and 20 people like me, they would kill to have a Larry to come on with a headset to just talk. And I mean, do people like raw and unedited? That's a trend. That's among the trends and styles. That's becoming the hottest new trend in internet media. YouTube is fresh off the press. What did Larry say? Warts and all, as opposed to the polished traditional media of, you film something and then you spend like a year or 6 months or a week editing it to precision. So people like today more the raw. I guess I've
Well,
done both.
but things
Yeah.
today like Opus Clip, AI is taking a lot of that out of the hands of the manual editor because you can do it for a fraction of the time and frankly probably do it better. And I'm actually just exploring that now because um, I told you I did a deep dive into Claude. When I first started playing with Claude, um, I wanted to figure out a way, how can I find out what Claude could really do? And I'm a quant, and numbers always interest me. When people are playing Sudoku, I'm doing spreadsheets. I'm weird that way, and I've always been
You think
fascinated
you're
with.
weird, or go on, but you think
I've
you're
always been
weird.
fascinated.
I have like
Well, I
hundreds
mean,
of thousands of charts watching.
I love that, and we should talk more about that. But so I've always been fascinated with. I love statistics. I love probability.
Me
So
too.
I've always played with random number ecosystems, and what's more random than the lottery, right? So I said, so you know what? I'm going to figure out how to use Claude, and let me use a use case and talk to Claude about, is it really random? So got into the conversation. Is the lottery really random? Well, yes, it truly is random. And every AI, every LLM out there will tell you that I cannot give you a better set of numbers to pick than a lower set of numbers because every set of numbers have the same probability of coming up. However, there are patterns that you can eliminate things that aren't going to come up. Like, what's the chance really of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 getting drawn in the lottery? Or any 5 consecutive set of numbers. It's never happened. So if it's never happened, why would you play that set of numbers? So I started playing with Claude, and I said, let's talk about the patterns. So we developed like 13 different patterns that we identified as patterns that would almost have no chance of showing up, or patterns that show up a lot. And then if you intersect those patterns, you can actually, you can't pick one set of numbers being more probable than another, but you can pick the most likely combination of patterns that would help you choose a more intelligent set of numbers. And basically what you're doing is you're reducing the pool. So Powerball has 292 million possible combinations, 292 million. That's why nobody ever wins except every once in a while. But what if you could show patterns and a program and put these patterns into a program and start eliminating the patterns that aren't going to show up and keeping the patterns that are? So I actually ended up writing an application of 32,000 lines of Python code called Lottery Lab. And it's a program. It's gamified the lottery is what it's done. It's letting people play games with it, pick patterns, decide these are the patterns that I want to choose my numbers by. But instead of people sitting, and some people do actually sit with spreadsheets for hours. So I did some exploration, and I found out that in this country, $8.2 billion is spent by people on snake oil. $8.2 billion is spent on subscription services and programs that say they're going to give you a higher probability set of numbers. It is Bullshit. It's snake
Really?
oil.
People, wait, whoa, I've never even heard of this. You're telling me that there are, I guess, websites or courses or platforms or programs
All
online,
the, all the above.
and you're buying lottery predictive
Yeah,
number.
you're buying a program that says this set of numbers has a higher probability of being picked. It's bullshit, Mike. It
Okay,
doesn't.
I
It's
I
been proven it doesn't work. But if you flip the script on that and say, okay, let's accept the fact that I am not going to get a machine to tell me this is a better set of numbers than this, but I can get the machine to eliminate those things that have a very low probability of happening. So you're gamifying the lottery. At the end of the day, you're not changing the odds. You're just feeling better and more intelligent about the numbers you might select. So I look at $8.2 billion being spent on snake oil. Well, I'm looking at this program and it's really cool. I said, why don't I sell it? So I've actually set up a shop, and I can show you the website, but I don't think we're going
yeah,
to do it on this podcast.
you could
Right?
definitely share your screen. You're welcome to share your screen, and
Okay,
it will be join the recording. Please do.
I'll
I've
do
never
that.
heard of such things.
Okay, you'll let's see what you think about this. So
Please share.
I will
Is
share my
this
screen. One second.
take your time. We're in real time, everyone. Larry, you're doing the full podcast experience, sharing your screen, telling your story. We may
I
need
don't.
a follow-up episode as well. I
Oh, there it is. Got it.
Go for it. It'll
I want
come
an
out
entire
beautifully in the
screen. Here we
recording.
go. Okay.
Mazel
So
tov on you're pulling all the features.
so
Lottery Lab.
this is actually the website. That's Lottery Lab,
Nice.
and
Very nice.
and it's live. You can go to lotterylab.ai right now,
I am.
and
I am. I
and
am.
you'll see this, and it'll
I
show
am.
you. It shows different examples of how it works. These are all little mini videos, and when it's ultimately ready for sale, um, you'll be able to purchase it. I haven't set up the store yet, but what I did do was I set up a
You
launch
have
page.
videos. You have videos on your website.
Yeah, and here's
lotterylab.ai, and we're going
here's
to put the link to your
okay,
this in the description below, so anyone
cool.
watching this YouTube video it'll say check out Lottery Lab, and it'll have a clickable link at the bottom of this video for those who want
And
to jump in as
and
well.
if they go to launch.lotterylab.ai, they can actually register for when the
Perfect.
product does launch. They'll get notified, and it will give them. So actually, you know what I'm going to do, Mike? I'm going to
This is
grab.
like QVC. This is you can share anything you want. This is like
I'm going to grab your email if you don't mind.
please
I
do.
just
I'm a guinea pig. I love it.
I just registered you for joining the wait list, and so now when Lottery Lab comes out, and by the way, I'll just give you I'll give you the program gratis. But anybody
I'm
that
happy to be a guinea pig on the
sure.
Larry Lottery wagon. Larry's
So
Lottery Lab.
anybody that registers will get the bundle of for Powerball and Mega Millions for $99 instead of 189. But so that's all this. But then I was where'd my Lottery Lab go?
You got a lot going on.
You know
You
what?
got like a million windows open here.
Yeah, I know.
And
Uh,
is this a MacBook? Is it a PC?
no,
What computer
no,
are you?
it's a desktop PC. It's pretty robust. It's pretty cool. So if I go
Yeah,
into
Mega
Powerball,
Millions. Yeah.
and it takes a
Okay,
second to
so you
open up
have the
because
wait list.
it's a it's a big program, but here it is. So
You built an entire using Claude. You've built an entire software application.
yeah,
You built
so
an app.
yeah, and basically it will let you do all sorts of stuff. This is what I call this is for the non-quant. This is for somebody that just wants to have the program algorithm pick some tickets. So if they want to just pick, let's say, 5 tickets, just hit generate tickets, and there are your 5 tickets. But if you really want to get into the guts of this thing, here's the secret sauce. So there is I can't do a demo of this now. It's just way too
It's okay.
robust.
Whatever you have, you are doing a demo. You're like on QVC, like quality value convenience.
So just
Maybe like a
give you
American
so to give you an idea of what would happen. So here
shopping channel.
there's no rules on. So with no rules on, all 292 million are are available to be picked. But when you start turning the rules on, and I'm not going to explain what all these are, but as you start turning the rules on, look what's
Ah,
happening to the possible combinations. It's going down, and it goes down a lot. And then you can start playing with really fine tuning it. And all of a sudden, from 292 million, now you're down to 8.4 million. But then we could do other things with, we could get this
could you
down.
explain a little bit more on like what how at a big at without or like at a huge big picture level, how does it make sense that like one of hundreds of millions or whatever combinations that this 10 million selection of possible lottery combinations is higher probability than this 10 million?
It's based on the probability of the correct pattern. So there's still a lot of luck involved with this. But you know, if you're going to a surgeon and you're about to get surgery, would you rather the surgeon tell you have 1 in 10 chance of living or 1 in 100 chance of living? You want to hear 1 in 10. So, so all
So
this
that's
is
a
doing,
10x difference. You're talking here about you're
yeah,
talking one who is a habitual lottery goer player for whatever reason. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's an excitement of gambling that's only a dollar or two. There are ways to up the odds 10 times better.
there are ways to eliminate the noise. Let's look at it from
Mm.
the other perspective, because I will make no claims that this program gives you better odds to win the lottery. What it is doing is it's giving you a more intelligent selection process by eliminating a lot of the noise of combinations that probably wouldn't occur. Now, could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occur? Yeah, but we know that has never happened and never will. But the idea here is what happens is you have to be lucky enough that the rules that you establish as the rules that drive the patterns, that whatever drawing comes out of the shoe complies with the rule set. That's the piece of luck that you can't control. So what you do is you develop a set of rules, and you can do it just based on what the program says. So the default set of rules are the combination rules where a drawing will most likely comply with the patterns that we have established will come together. So we've reduced 292 million down to 5.2 million. 1 out of 5.2 million, you got to be pretty goddamn lucky. But you don't need nearly as much luck as you do for 1 out of 292 million. So, like I said, I've gamified the lottery, and you can do there's different tabs of what you show the history, and in the history you can start filtering to look at historically what numbers fit different patterns. So I give people the tools in this game, if you will, to be more intelligent about the numbers they might play with. But what really happens here, Mike, is that I'm teaching people how to think logically about patterning. And that's really my motivation for this program. It's a game, it plays with the lottery. But if you really get into this, what you find yourself starting to do is you start to learn how to think logically about how to apply this number logic to a lot of other pieces of logic in your life. So it's a developmental tool, it's a brain exercise tool, it's a game, it's it's a lot of things.
Yeah, fascinating, fascinating. I'm taking in, and I'm. It's so interesting. You are not afraid to share your screen, hop on a podcast, show off new software, build software with Claude, talk about the four,
Holy shit
experiences in your
moments.
life of your this is a multi-layered episode here and fascinating. And what else would you like to share? You have a YouTube channel as well. You're
Um,
actively
I do have a YouTube presence. It's called Passion for Stuff. Funny enough.
Do you want to share? I could share my screen and subscribe right now, and we could look at that as well. I don't know. We're going on a smorgasbord, a buffet of
We
adventures
really
here.
are all
Who
over the
knows
place,
where the
aren't we?
chips will land? And the worst. I always say that the episode goes on until my wife comes down and says, we have as much time until my wife comes down and says, we don't have time for this. And Larry, is it Larry?
Nipon. I don't know if 1P.
Oh, 1P. Here we are. This is you. This is also you.
I didn't
I
even,
know a guy. Oh, you
I,
did hey, you were on a podcast.
you know what? I didn't even know. I didn't even know he had that up. That's funny.
Here's another podcast. This might be a different format, but this is you were on an interview show, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually, I was on an interview back in 1999. I forgot about that one when I was with
let's subscribe here.
a company called eCal. But if you search for passion, the number 4 stuff.
Passion, the
No, no,
number.
no, no, no. Back up. Just put passion and then the number 4 after it, and then stuff.
Oh, passion for stuff. You
And
got
there I
another
am.
subscriber. Here you go. And passion for this is you.
Yeah.
Passion for stuff. Fascinating.
And I haven't done anything with this channel because
Forms.
I don't know what to do with it. But I am going to start promoting Lottery Lab on it.
Lottery Lab getting. Oh, you made this. Oh, you are making videos for Lottery Lab. Let's see what we got here. I'm just turning the sound. Oh, you are producing videos and have. Okay, you don't have 1,000 videos on YouTube, but you have fascinating a tutorial, if you will.
Pretty much.
What you did, your demo you showed me, is similar to this.
Correct.
This is a month ago you started. This is what, July 11th. You are working on this, building this, developing this.
Well, it's now built. I mean, there are going to be new versions as I think of more things, but there's a law of diminishing returns. You don't want to make it so complicated that people can't make a decision on what to do, because there's really an infinite number of different permutations that people could play with. But I think what I built it's enough. And you know what? I've gotten more money tickets using the software than I ever did before, just drinking my own Kool-Aid, so to speak. But it's fun.
You are one who enjoys lottery or the odd poker game a little bit.
I never play poker because I suck.
I learned poker when I was 5 years old.
I don't have
when I was 8. I remember my grandfather teaching me how to. I was like the roulette my grandfather had a roulette table we'd put out, and I would pay off the bets, and like he taught me how to. I learned a lot of math from little fake gambling experiences as a child. It's a Jewish thing.
Yes, so we both have it.
What else are you up to? You're into Claude. You're doing your own development. You're not one to outsource it. You do it all yourself.
Well, that was an accident. I mean, I've never written a line of code in my life, but having consulted to companies for years and having built CRM systems, I'm very good at UI architecture. I'm very sensitive to user experience, and God knows I have spent hundreds of thousands of hours on screens since 1984. So I know how to architect software. I know how to architect user interfaces, but I don't know how to code. But you know what? You don't need to know how to code anymore. AI is creating a whole new world of opportunity for people that have had great ideas that could never execute on them. I think we're going to see an unbelievable amount of really cool shit getting launched into the marketplace by people that had great ideas but couldn't execute before, and now they can. And now the financial obstacles aren't there either. Certainly the technical obstacles aren't there. I mean, if you can talk, you can vibe code. So
yeah,
it's a new world.
It's even crazier, like Claude. So there are different tools, obviously, Claude and ChatGPT, or like Lovable. And then there's even more sophisticated
Well,
tools
Replit
where
is
it's
another
like,
one that's out there. Um, do you know Replit?
I yeah, I've used Replit like 10 years ago. I haven't used like the most recent version.
It's
I've
becoming it's
played a
becoming
lot
a
with,
it's
yeah. Or,
becoming a coding platform of choice for people that want to create applications. I
I'm
saw
looking at it right
somebody
now.
I saw somebody that created a killer application the other day using Replit. She never wrote a line of code in her life, but she had a great idea.
Oh, Replit's like a building tool. Okay, I'm going. It's amazing how tools, if I looked at 5 years ago or 10 years ago, the same name, the same website has migrated following different trends or adapting. It's really cool. Like Replit, I remember being like you'd have like 20 programming languages and you practice your syntax using Replit or maybe something similar to that. Um, Things change over time. Fascinating. What else? Or
So
do you like
I
to be, or a funny question? I could introduce you right now in real time. I could send an email. Would you want to be on other people's podcasts who are have been doing podcasts thousands of
um
episodes?
I
If you wish, I don't know.
I'm not looking to be a podcast whore, but
Are
but
you looking to host a podcast or
no,
be
I
okay?
I just don't have the bandwidth for it because I know that takes work, and I've got to
Only so much as pushing record.
well, but
A joke, a
I mean
joke.
you're taking time, um, but
Oh,
there's
I'm also
other
getting
stuff.
an education. I'm kidding. No, you
Well,
don't have to be. I'm
but
not selling.
but I think let's stop podcasting because
We're going to
there's
pause here. This has been an incredible episode, and we'll pause here.
okay so.